Welcome to Akita and Ingram Micro's webinar on Microsoft 365 Copilot Business. And I'm now going to hand over to your presenters. Thank you all for joining.
Thank you, John. Welcome and thank you for joining us today. Nick, if you could hit the next slide, please.
No worries.
It's great to see so many of you here today. This has definitely become our most popular webinar to date. Lots of great content to get through today. I'm Charlie, Akita's Director of Business Applications, and I oversee Akita's AI offering. And I'm delighted to be joined today by Nick from our partner Ingram Micro, where Nick oversees the Microsoft Modern Work program, within which Copilot sits. So today's agenda, lots to cram in. We're going to be talking at speed, but as John has mentioned, we will make sure you get a copy of the webinar after the event. But to start with, we'll take a brief look at where AI is today and how quickly this has moved from experimentation into day-to-day business use. We'll then introduce Microsoft Copilot and explain how Copilot works within the 365 tools that everybody is already using. We'll then move into some demonstrations. This is where you'll get to see Copilot in action across some of the common applications that you're all used to using. And then the bit everyone's probably interested in is how do you then get your hands on Copilot? So we'll talk you through the different license options that are available and how we would then suggest that you approach a Copilot implementation. So at this point, I'm going to hand to Nick and sit back and enjoy what Nick's got to show. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie. Yeah, thank you everyone for joining us today. I'm sure you're all very busy in this beautiful February afternoon. But yeah, so as Charlie just mentioned, I'm going to quickly cover off kind of where we are today in the world of AI and technology, and then we're going to look at the tool itself. So we're in really interesting times, I would say, in the business world and the world in general, and a lot of this is down to the uptake of technology and how rapidly it's kind of evolving, and industries are completely changing, and our economy is shifting as well, and we're at the start of this kind of new era in the workspace. And it may seem as though AI is, it's just exploded, but actually the term AI has been around since the 1950s. But there's been some kind of big milestones over the last few decades, and it really started to take off in 2010, I would say, with the kind of deep learning and big data movement. And whether we're aware of it today, we're already using AI in a fairly big way, especially in our personal lives. So Netflix, as an example, uses AI to recommend TV shows to us. That's based on our users' kind of viewing history and preferences. And then you've got Spotify, again, similar sort of thing. It recommends songs and playlists tailored to individuals. And then we've got Amazon. So I'm a big user of Amazon, and I get constant homepage recommendations based on things they think I might like. And then you've got things like Google Assistant, Siri, and all those things built to our phones. And then we've got even predictive text. So that is a form of AI, which is deep learning. So yeah, lots of things we're already using already in our day-to-day lives. And I want to show some numbers around the uptake of technologies just to kind of put into context the demand for AI. So it's not on this slide, but it did take 16 years for mobile phones to reach 100 million users. Instagram took just over 2.5 years. And then we've got TikTok, took 9 months. So it's pretty quick. But ChatGPT had 100 million users in 2 months. So that kind of shows the interest and the demand. It's pretty huge in AI. And in a study on the potential impact of AI, it's predicted that around 70% of companies, or up to 70% of companies, are likely to have adopted at least one form of AI by 2030. I think it's going to be higher than that. A lot of companies already do have AI in some form in their workspace, and some have multiple forms as well. So there are lots of AI tools being used already. And it's moving quite fast already. So we've already gone from one phase of AI into the next phase, which is around agentic AI. So another name for that is kind of like a chat bot or bots in general, which you may be more familiar with. But these new agents can be autonomous as well, so they can make decisions without any human interaction, which is scary but also brilliant. And we've seen kind of a big emergence in lots of new AI tools and lots of new companies that have kind of come from nothing. And it's quite difficult, I would say, to understand what they all do, and whether your data that and the inputs that you put into these systems are actually safe, and where your information is being stored. And that brings us neatly onto this slide. So most businesses kind of are not starting their transformation from AI from the ground floor. So people are already using AI in the workplace, and that's whether we like it or not. So often these tools are being used without any kind of thought for security or the data the data intake implications. So Microsoft have got a study called the Work Trend Index report, and this study found that 75% of global knowledge workers are already using AI at work, and that rate has doubled over the last 6 months, and it will continue to grow, I'd imagine. And that's largely because the volume of data, emails, chats that us as employees have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, it's kind of got out of control, and it's making it really challenging to deal with. But this survey also found that 80% of those workers, they're bringing their own tools to work. So we call this BYOAI. So bring your own AI to work. And when these employees don't have guidance or clearance, they're kind of taking the matters into their own hands and bringing those tools into work that they're using in their personal lives. So it's not just Gen Z as well. This cuts across all generations, and that really does have quite a lot of risks. So a little bit kind of more kind of detail and more of a story. So people are using their own tools for AI just to kind of give themselves that leg up at work. But quite a sad but real stat is that 64% of employees just don't have the time or energy to do their job. That might sound quite familiar. We're spending far too much time searching for information. We're navigating quite inefficient meetings. And we're spending a lot of time kind of communicating and coordinating, leaving not a lot of time for creation and collaboration with teammates. So only kind of 43% of employees have spent time creating content. So yeah, the volume of data, emails, chats, it's kind of outpaced our ability to process it all. And that's why employees are turning to AI to try and support their work. And even though AI is kind of top of mind for a lot of people from a job loss perspective, so half of people surveyed thought that their job could be at risk because of AI. Actually, managers and businesses in general are looking to leverage AI to empower people rather than replace them. So that's a positive story. Another bit of information from another study that I had a look at was that 87% of leaders believe that AI will give their organization a competitive edge. So the question kind of every leader is asking themselves right now is how will my organization seize the full potential of AI, but also how am I going to safeguard my business as well as my data and my employees, because that is very critical. And before you kind of begin on your journey to AI in the workplace, there's some kind of things that I would consider and some questions that I would ask yourself. Number one is, what are the goals for using AI? Is it to get better insights from data? Is it to become more efficient? Is it perhaps to create some content, to create some marketing collateral, as an example? And number two, what are the pain points within your organization? So how can AI potentially address these pain points? Is there a lot of manual tasks that could be automated? Is it to be more efficient in meetings? And then number three, so what are your current AI capabilities? So do you have chatbots already? Are there people already using AI? Are there people already skilled in the art of prompting, which is something that's quite new, which we're having to get to grips with AI? And then does your organization have a data strategy in place? So are you GDPR compliant? Is your data secure? All of those sorts of things. And then lastly, do you have the necessary infrastructure and resources to support AI? So are there systems in place like CRMs a CRM system that utilizes AI? Can you upskill your employees, or do they need help? So all of these kind of elements will help and guide and shape how you bring AI into your organizations. And what we're seeing currently is a lot of customers targeting quite a small group of users, and then they will push out wider adoption across the user base when they feel ready. And those pilot users are almost users like champions to help skill up the rest of the workforce and support and coach any new users. And that brings us nicely onto what we're here for today, which is Microsoft 365 Copilot. So this is Microsoft's AI assistant. It's going to help you be more creative, but also more productive while keeping your data and you secure, which is, again, very critical. So it uses the latest OpenAI large language model, and it uses your data and your 365 apps all accessed through natural language. So another little techie bit is there's a thing called the Microsoft Graph that it works within. So this is like a real-time work context. So it utilizes your emails, your files, your meetings, and enforces permissions based on what you've already got in place. So none of that data is going to go awry and get into the wrong hands. And then you've got work IQ as well. So it's going to learn your patterns. It understands your job role. It delivers context-aware actions and suggestions for you as well. So it works alongside you. And it's in all of those lovely apps that we use every single day, more than likely. So apps like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Teams. So yeah, all of your data, though, is stored in your tenant under your control. So none of it will be used to train the AI model, which is something that you might get with other tools, including ChatGPT, the free version. And then just to make the point that there are a lot of copilots that Microsoft have in the marketplace today. So you've got Copilot in Bing, which you may have seen. You've got GitHub for code generation, Copilot for security, and there's many more. And you might even see a little Copilot logo on your Windows 11 laptop if you've got one. But the one we're talking about today is specifically around the Microsoft 365 Copilot, which is built into your productivity apps. So I've got a short video to share with you, and then we'll look at some pre-recorded video demos as well. So right over to the video.
Whoa. Straight to the top, never going down, don't wait for the drop. Stand still, that's the motto, yeah. Brand new bands for the auto, oh. Foot to the ground, full throttle. Big energy for the night like lotto. Y'all talk lots, never this quiet. Life like a Seinfeld plot. Vault full of songs, all of them bombs. Something like a minefield guy, boom. Get it, tickets running out quick. Bet it, never get it out big. Said it, never had to shout it. They said I couldn't never do it, okay, how's this? Fit a week worth of work in a minute. Machine well oiled, you know how I stay efficient. To-do list written, I do this different. Hold up, wait a minute, I ain't finished. Okay. Look, flows the same now. Paved the way, the snakes and fakes are chased out. Back to back, I changed the pace now. Had to stack the cash until the bank's out. Straight to the top, never going down, don't wait for the drop.
Very funky video from Microsoft. So we saw some of the features there of what it can do. So it can summarize large documents really, really quickly. So it's going to help you reply to emails and manage your inbox and create those notes from team meetings. So we're going to go into some details around the specific apps and what they can do. But another thing that Microsoft offers is a thing called Copilot Chat. So this is something that you will all get already if you've got a Microsoft 365 license. Some of you may already be using it, which is great. But what it's going to provide for you is a free and secure AI chat with the latest AI models as well, utilizing the web. So Copilot Chat is something that all of us can utilize literally right now. We are going to look at the paid for features and the paid for license, but it was just something that I think is worth bearing in mind. And to get access to this tool, you can go to m365copilot.com. So you can get started today and you can have a little play with it. And yeah, it's completely revolutionized my work. I no longer use Google or any other search engine. I just use Copilot now for everything that I search for on the web. And the reason we speak about the free version of Copilot, which is the chat version, again, it's not free. You have to buy your 365 license in the first place, your business basic or standard or premium. But it's a really, really good tool which you can use today. That means that it's going to standardize the approach across the organization. So we're not all going to be using different tools. We can all be using the same tool. And it just means that, you know, you do need to be critical in this landscape because we're all on different journeys. It's not one size fits all. Not everyone is going to need the all singing, all dancing paid for SKU. But together with Copilot Chat and the 365 Copilot license, we can kind of accelerate adoption at our own pace as we go through that change curve. And as mentioned already, you know, you can get started with this today at no cost. And it's already transforming work, the 365 version. So if used correctly, it can save as much as 75% of time looking for files and folders and 71% of your time on those really, really boring, repetitive, mundane tasks. And Microsoft's Work Trend Index report also has found that users are saving, on average, 1.2 hours per week, which is almost 2 weeks of work per year. So some are saving even more time, but average is, you can save over an hour's work per week, which is very handy. So now on to some demonstrations. So it's going to supercharge your productivity in Outlook and Teams. It's going to amplify your creativity in Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. And then with Microsoft as well, you can rely on them to keep all your data and information safe with their top-rated and trusted security. So your data is not going to be used to train the model. It's all kept within your tenant boundary, and it's protected as well by Microsoft and their responsible AI policies. So we shall get onto the demo. So the first one we're going to look at today is Microsoft Teams.
Imagine you have an appointment that conflicts with your weekly business review. What if you could do both? With Copilot, you can opt to follow a meeting. After the meeting ends, Copilot will summarize what you missed. You'll get a notification in Teams when the recap is ready. This recap will highlight content that was shared, summarize notes, and any action items for you or others whose names were mentioned. You see that one of your customers was discussed, and you want to learn more. You can ask Copilot clarifying questions, and it provides a detailed response. It can tell you why a certain decision was made, and gives you helpful context. You can even ask Copilot what other solutions were considered, and it provides citations from the transcript so you can see where Copilot drew these conclusions. It's a huge time saver. So that was pretty cool. But the real magic of Copilot happens during a live meeting. Let's say you're in a meeting with your team. You can ask Copilot to summarize the meeting so far. You can see how it summarizes who said what points were made, and it's really capturing the spirit of the discussion. And as the meeting progresses, you can check in on where people stand. You can even ask Copilot what questions are unresolved. It's just amazing to see this happen in real time during a meeting.
So in the interest of time today, we have got some pre-recorded content because I think we want to try and keep it to as close to half an hour as we can. But again, Teams is phenomenal because when I'm out of the office or double booked for meetings, you have to rely on that owner creating some notes and then sending them out. So the intelligent recap feature is going to completely change that because it's completely built in and automated as well. And you don't have to remember to make notes; it does that for you. We're going to quickly move on now to Outlook.
We all struggle with the pull of the inbox. Sometimes it keeps us from focusing on our most important work. But at the same time, you have important emails to respond to. Copilot can help you separate the signal from the noise and give you hours of time back. Copilot can help you triage your inbox, highlighting the most important emails to prioritize. And Copilot also helps you on the go in Outlook Mobile. It can summarize long email threads. You can draft a reply, use data from an Excel file, and Copilot will generate a reply for you. You can edit it. You can make it more concise, change the writing style, or add more context. Now all that's left to do is review the proposed response and hit send. It's a productivity game changer.
So yeah, it's going to summarize what you've missed and it's going to bring to the top of your inbox the most important emails. I often get those long email threads and then someone adds you right in at the end and says, can you respond to this? And it takes you 5 minutes to go through the whole email chain to figure out, what your response is going to be. So Copilot is going to help you give you that kind of summary and conclusion. So it's going to save you minutes, hopefully. Right, next up, we've got Excel.
Copilot puts all the rich capabilities of Excel at your fingertips. Say you need to analyze this quarter's sales results for the monthly business review. You start by asking Copilot to analyze the data and give you 3 key trends. Within seconds, you've got what you need, but you want to drill in. You ask Copilot a follow-up question about one of the trends. Copilot creates a new sheet, giving you a sandbox to play in, and helping you get a better understanding of what's happening without modifying the data in the original sheet. You ask Copilot to visualize what contributed to the decline in sales growth this period. Copilot adds a little color to make the problem jump off the page. Now you want to dig a little deeper and ask a follow-up question with a what-if scenario. Copilot not only answers your question, it creates a simple model of the scenario, and even asks you if you want to learn more about what it did with a step-by-step breakdown. Finally, you can ask it to create a graph of your projected model. Copilot has turned a sea of data into clear insights and actions.
So yeah, you've no longer got to wait for that Excel genius to help you. You just ask Copilot and it'll do it for you, which is what I love about it. So it might show you some things that, for the Excel whizzes, it might show you some things that actually you never knew how to do before. I'm not particularly good in Excel, but it will coach you to be better and help you use it better. We're going to quickly move on now to PowerPoint, which is probably my second favorite to teams, but it's a great tool as well.
Everyone has had a moment when they wish that they could turn their proposal into a customer-ready presentation without having to start from scratch. Now you can. Using just your own words, Copilot can translate Word into PowerPoint. Now you have a professional-looking presentation that you can hone and polish. Let's say you want to add a slide. Give Copilot some quick instructions and it immediately generates it for you. There it goes. Copilot doesn't always get everything right, so it's important to verify you are happy with it and make any edits that are needed. So this slide is too wordy. You can ask Copilot to make it more visual, which it does effortlessly. And check this out, Copilot can even animate the slide. It gives it a professional design treatment in a single click. But it doesn't stop there. Copilot automatically generates speaker notes for all your slides. It's not only a time saver, it's helping you be a better presenter.
The speaker note thing for me is pretty big in the animation of slides. So you don't need to be a PowerPoint whiz anymore. It will help you become better at writing presentations. And as the demo mentions, it may not be perfect. And it's the same with all of the Copilot assistant. The same with all of Copilot with all the different apps. But it does get you quite close, and you just got to kind of put the cherry on top. But what I love is it can transform existing written documents or other documents that you've got in your OneDrive or your SharePoint on your computer, and it can make them into polished decks for you. And yeah, the speaker notes, that could take hours potentially to get that right, but it will get you a really, really good leg up. I've also got a slide which I'm going to include with the slides at the end of this webinar that just kind of gives you a little bit of support and a bit of learning around Copilot as well on some of the prompts that you can try. Microsoft also offers some free training as well. You can get kind of, if you wanted more in-depth tailored training, that's also possible as well. But this is just a nice little slide to help you get started, which we're going to share with you all. And now on to the kind of licensing and how we get access to it. So there are 3 different options at the moment to get access to Copilot. So we talked at the very, very start around Copilot Chat. This comes as part of your existing 365 license. And then we go into Microsoft 365 Copilot, which is what we've just seen the demonstration on. So this license is designed for enterprise customers, typically with 300 users or more. And that's the current Microsoft recommended retail price just there on screen, so $24.26. And then we've got this new product that came in December last year called Microsoft 365 Copilot for Business. So this is for customers, less than 300 users that have a business SKU. So it's not one of the enterprise licenses like E3 or E5. This is going to be business basic, standard, or premium. And there's also some promotions on as well. So it's always worth checking back in with us to see what offers are on. But at the moment, until the end of March, there's a 15% off promo as well. So that's pretty tempting on both of those products. And then this is just an overview of the side-by-side features. I'm not going to go into loads of detail because of time. But as you can see, there's no real difference, or there's no difference at all between the Copilot for 365 product, the enterprise one and the business one. It's just Microsoft has brought in this new product, which is just more affordable for smaller customers. The major benefit of the paid for versions versus the one that you get free as part of your 365 license, though, is it's going to understand your data and you as a person, so you won't get that, and it won't reference any of your data and your files and folders and emails and the people that you work with and the organization. So you're also going to get some pre-built agents, which I'm going to share with you very, very shortly on the next slide. The Copilot Chat free version, you can get access to agents, but you have to pay for them on like a metered basis, so pay as you go. But you're going to get this slide so you can have a little look at the detail at a later date. So just on agents, it's customers are starting to move into this kind of phase now, if you like. And I know we haven't gone into much depth on these at all, but just as an example, you can use the project manager agent to help you track status and updates against a broader project plan. And then you've got one called the facilitator agent in Teams. So this is going to help you run meetings in Teams more efficiently as well. So there's more and more agents and features being released all the time. You can even create your own agents as well, which is really simple to do, actually, surprisingly. And then Microsoft is also partnering with lots of different third-party kind of agents and third-party providers. So you've got Adobe and SAP, and you've got some other ones like Miro and Monday.com. So these are going to be able to build on what Copilot's already got and infuse that data and make it available to you using the tool. So it's going to help you across loads of different business functions and automate workflows potentially, and unlock lots more creativity. So this is just, a snapshot of some of the agents that are available in the store today, but there's new ones being added all the time, and obviously you can create your own as well. And then just on to some of the bundles that Microsoft have also recently brought in. So you can now bundle your Copilot product, your Copilot Business product, with your current Microsoft 365 business license. So just making it easier for you, so you've not got loads and loads of products on your bill. You have the same renewal dates as well, so it's all kind of together. There's some really, really good promos on here as well until the end of March. So you can save 35% on Business Standard with Copilot Business. So that comes in at, I think, 1761 on the slide there. So that's really, really competitive as a product. And then Business Premium, which is probably the most widely purchased product for SMB customers with Copilot Business, for £26.07, I believe. So that's Business Premium's typically around £18 a month. So you can effectively get hold of this tool for just a little over £8. That's a really, really good product. The only caveat with both of these bundles and these offers is you have to order 10 or more licenses, and it has to be a new customer, but you can upgrade from existing licenses as well if you've just got a Business Premium standalone. Again, if you want more detail on the promotions, just get in contact with the team at Akita. But to help customers on the journey as well, Microsoft's got a raft of tools, and they've got a thing called the Copilot Success Kit, which is going to give you lots of training and resources to help you kind of accelerate and on board with this product, and also look at implementation guides as well. So there's technical readiness for your techies, but there's lots of tools that are freely available to you. But I'm now going to hand back over to Charlie to wrap this up. And over to you, Charlie.
Yeah, thank you, Nick. I think we'd all agree that's a lot to take in. You did a great job trying to squeeze so much into such a short amount of time. So yeah, appreciate your efforts there. And I think post this call that we're all still available. So if anybody would like to catch up, then
absolutely,
you're more than welcome to do so. But to really get the most from Copilot, we really strongly suggest that our customers go through a whole readiness piece. Copilot typically isn't something you would just switch on, because it relies so much on the quality of your data, how well that information is structured and governed. We can help you with that, because if the foundations are strong, Copilot can really unlock the productivity and insight that you're all looking for. Equally to that, if your data isn't well structured and the foundations are weak, it can certainly highlight gaps and inconsistencies. So getting the readiness right is really key to getting the most from something like Copilot. Next slide, please, Nick. And to help with that, we, along with Ingram and Microsoft, have a preferred program for how we implement Copilot in a structured and effective way for our customers. The good news is for everybody here, Microsoft has agreed to largely fund most of the key activities that we need to help organizations go through. So that really is a great cost saving to yourselves that we're able to pass on. I think that really does highlight the commitment from Microsoft that they really want their customer base to benefit from these tools. You'll hear from us more post-event with more information on this program. We'll go into a little bit more detail and what we would need to do to get you set up to start going through some of those programs. We were asking for questions as we go. I think Nick's obviously done such an awesome job that he's answered everybody's questions. We're happy to stay on a little bit towards the end. answer any that may come up. Equally, sort of post-event, you'll see on the next slide, you've got our contact details. We would love to talk to you in a lot more detail about the Copilot content that we've shared today. But yeah, other than that, it just goes to say thank you ever so much for giving up some of your lunch. Much appreciated. Nick, thank you as always for giving up your time today. We are very much here and happy to help any questions that you may have on how to embark on your Copilot journey. Thank you very much.